Hello again. Michael Kelley here. As you may know, I am the brainwave entrainment developer and consultant for Elite Inner Circle and the Brain Evolution System. Today in this video I would like to talk to you about what makes the Brain EV work. Now there is an incredible amount of technical work that went into creating the Brain Evolution System for you. To best understand how the Brain EV works, I'll need to give you a little background on brainwave entrainment technology so you can really appreciate the value of what the Brain Evolution System accomplishes. So let's get started with that. First up, a crash course in brainwaves themselves. Your brain is composed of billions of brain cells called neurons. These neurons communicate using electricity. The combination of all these neurons sending electrical signals at once produces a detectable amount of electrical activity in the brain. This activity can be recognized using sensitive medical equipment, such as an EEG, to measure electrical levels over the scalp. These electrical pulses are called brainwaves. This clip shows an actual recording of my own brainwaves. Go ahead and take a look. I'm not bashful, and as you can see, they move and undulate kind of like sound waves do. Note that my brain produces several brainwaves at once, ranging in amplitude and frequency. After years of practice, I'm actually able to change my own brainwaves like one would flex or relax a muscle. The Brain EV itself was created based on my own research and what it takes to control your own brainwaves. And you'll be benefiting from this same technology that took me almost a decade to develop. Since the discovery of our brainwaves now almost a century ago, we continue to learn exactly what brainwaves represent about our brain's functioning, and more fantastically, what they mean about our health and state of mind. With these discoveries, it is no surprise that researchers have found ways to stimulate, or pay attention to this word, entrain brainwaves to change a person's mental state simply by adjusting their brainwaves with some outside stimulus. The Brain Evolution System performs its magic using sound to stimulate brainwave entrainment. These sounds gently stimulate the brain in order to help you learn to achieve a variety of useful mental states, thereby improving your mind's ability. So how does this brainwave entrainment work? In scientific circles, entrainment is defined as the action of adjusting the phase or period of a waveform by introducing it to another. Now, that sounds like gobbledygook, and that's fair enough. Let me fill you in on the meaning of the word entrainment itself. In 1665, the great Dutch mathematician and physicist Christian Huygens coined the term entrainment after building several pendulum clocks. He noticed that when he hung a new clock on the wall, its pendulum would settle towards moving in unison with the other clocks that were on the wall. Now, no matter how hard he tried to start the pendulum swinging differently, they would always settle to swinging in unison over a period of time. It turns out that this synchronous swinging was caused by minute vibrations from the clocks transferring through the wall and causing the new clock to respond at a similar frequency. Entrainment may also be observed when two pianos sit closely in the same room. When one piano is played, the other piano will respond as its own strings vibrate sympathetically to the sound vibrations that are transmitted through the room. But let's get back to the brain. The brain, in my humble opinion, is an excellent signal processing device. It takes the waveforms of sound, light, and other senses and then translates these into electrochemical activity that can be seen as frequencies. Knowing this, it is possible to create certain stimuli that actually change brainwaves themselves. I think it's fair to say that each of us intuitively feels the effect of any stimulation on our brains, and knows that our thoughts can be affected by something as simple as the pattering of rain, the lull of an ocean, or even the complexity of an invigorating symphony. As we look back in history, several events have been recorded which point to rhythmic stimuli causing the brain to entrain with stunning effects. For example, around 200 AD, Ptolemy noticed that when he placed a spinning spoked wheel between an observer and the sun, the flickering of the sunlight through the spokes of this spinning wheel would cause patterns and colors to appear before the eyes of the observer, and could also produce a feeling of euphoria. Much later, at the beginning of the 20th century, French psychologist Pierre Genet noticed that when patients were exposed to flickering lights in his hospital, these certain rates would cause them to experience reductions in hysteria and increases in relaxation. From here forward, science began investigating the effect of certain rhythmic stimuli on the brain, such as in the mid-1930s when scientists verified that the electrical rhythms of the brain tended to assume the rhythm of a stimulus. For example, one can take the stimulus of a blinking light at 10 Hz, or 10 cycles per second, and then have a subject watch this light blink. Over a period of time, that subject's brainwaves will entrain to match the 10 Hz rate from the blinking light. It was discoveries like this that led to the beginning acceptance of brainwave entrainment as a scientifically provable process, while still paving the way for research and technology that would lead up to the brain evolution system itself. So how do we accomplish brainwave entrainment with the Brain EV? We use an exclusive process that I've developed called the 3-point dynamic entrainment audio process,